So for today's Funktasy exclusive, we're joined by Hypaton, an up-and-coming phenom in the EDM rave scene and the creative mind behind numerous blockbuster remixes in the last few years. Most recently, Ray's Where's My Husband, which is a huge one, Robin Schulz, Segala, and Zoe Wees, AM to PM. And you're also set to release your latest single, Slide, very shortly, which we're all very sure will set the world alight because it's really a really amazing song. So we first wanted to dive into your musical upbringing. So having watched other interviews, I also read a bit about you. I've seen that you were born into a musical family, like that's from what I've understood. But what I wanted to ask you was, what is your first musical memory? And is that something that has shaped your career up till now, that first musical memory?
I love these questions so much. The, my first musical memory, I'm pretty sure that I have this picture of myself and my dad in his car, and he was playing some music, and I was like, wow, like I love these, when you're a little kid and you just discover what's
Mhm.
around you. And I was feeling the rhythm, the sounds, the notes, and I was like, wow, this is the music, music was a new thing when I was a kid, so I started to be like really excited, and I was asking a lot, can we go back in the car, and play that CDs that you have there, so it was that's my first memory, I think. Yes.
That's amazing. And do you feel like it's influenced you to this day, or how has it influenced you, would you say? Or is it
uh,
mostly just a feeling?
uh it's now a big influence because after that I started playing the guitar, taking lessons of electric guitar for a few years, and then I started doing my own on stuff. So I did a little bit of theory,
Mm.
Hmm.
and then I followed, my way, and I got in touch, when I was a teenager. It was the golden era of EDM,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
everyone wanted to be a DJ at that time, and
Mm,
we had inputs from all over the socials
Mhm.
and everything, and I started to produce music thanks to that era of EDM.
I agree. I was also really deep into Hardwell. I remember Tiesto.
Mhm.
That
Martin
phase. I also
Garrix,
wanted to be DJ.
all the spinning records guys.
Spinning, exactly. Everything spinning was golden, like was gold dust.
Yeah.
For sure.
But what I read was also that you pursued studies in dentistry.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I studied 5 years in Madrid, and
Yeah,
I got,
exactly.
yeah, and I finished my studies in 2023, and it
Mm-hmm.
was hard. I'd say it was hard because, but when I start something, I like to finish it, give my best in everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
since day one, in my head, I always knew that music was my everything, what I wanted to be after university. But at the same time, I had this kind of deal with my parents: university first, and then try whatever you want, so you have a
Ah,
PhD. So I gave 50 and 50 to both stuff, and
uh-huh.
it worked. It was not easy, but when you put lots of time, lots of dedication, and you can manifest it, it's gonna happen.
No, I agree, but that was the rest of my questions also then. At what point did you know then that music was going to be your path? But from what you've just said, it's you just did both at the same time and then it just
Mhm.
naturally evolved.
Exactly. It was really natural. And I can say that I knew that after university, my dream was music. So I knew that, okay, when I finish, I'm going to start. I'm going to try. It's going to be a long road. It's going to be really difficult, but at least I can say that I tried.
Mhm.
But when I did when I posted the Be My Lover video,
Mm-hmm.
in one night, what was like a dream became reality. that point I really understood that okay, this is for real, you know, there is a big chance that I'm gonna start the music career right after finishing the university.
Wow. And any chance you're going back to dentistry?
I don't think so. You know, sometimes
Part
sometimes
time?
I do sometimes I do something for my girlfriend, but just for her.
Oh, wow.
She has this privilege.
Yeah, she's a lucky lady. But yeah, also speaking more about like building the remix portfolio of yours. Um, do you feel like you've previously, I know like you've talked a lot about like how people consume music on social media nowadays, but do you feel like you've always had this like kind of strategy of pre-releasing music on social media in terms of like this little snippets to reach your audience, or was it kind of like more of a spontaneous idea for you?
I It's fun because before showing to the world what I was doing, I
Mm-hmm.
was already doing that, but just with my friends, just just yo guys, what do you think of this idea? Like filming exactly as I do on social, but not posting, just sending to my friends. And then I decide, why not? You know, why not showing to everyone? You know, at the beginning you feel a little bit maybe it's not cool, maybe I'm gonna look ridiculous, you know, but then, you know, when you see the all the appreciation that you have, it's
Yeah, all the
amazing.
positive feedback. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's even more helpful because sometimes when you produce just on your own
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have any external feedback, you might think something is really great or really bad, but in reality it's different. So, you know, showing it to the people is like uh, when when video games it's called are in beta, they
Yeah,
let
exactly.
people play
Exactly.
the video games, so
Mm-hmm.
they listen to the feedback and then they fix what they need to fix. and
Yeah,
and and,
totally.
and yeah, and this workflow helped me a lot in fixing what I need to fix and leaving like that what people love.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And also find like with artists, a lot of times like artists tend to overthink, but once you actually like even like release a little snippet, you see like how positive the feedback is. Like it's helpful because like you were all in your ad all this time. And once like people
Exactly,
confirm you're great, then you're on the right track.
exactly.
Okay, so also in terms of like what is like your thinking behind like picking songs for you to remix? Because I know you have like quite a fondness for the 90s, but like what specifically attracts you to this era of the 90s, which I also love.
I think is the lyrics.
Oh
The
yeah.
the the lyrics are, I think, are everything because they are super simple.
Mm.
Every song speaks about love and happiness. So it's you know it's super easy uh,
Mm.
for people to feel part of of the track. And also they are those tracks are already built on a dense dense production, which makes
Mhm.
them much more easier to remix actually.
Yeah, for sure. Because those were the times for the
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And is there and would you go for another era? Like, I don't know, 80s? Maybe that's more disco. That's maybe when your sound might change a bit.
I'm,
Perhaps you can.
I'm exploring a little bit of everything.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
exploring a bit. I feel like when you bring back something that was really great, that nostalgia effect is gonna work a lot for
Mhm.
people, and it's fun because it's gonna sound new, for example, but in reality, it's something that was made in the past. But you know,
Mhm.
it's a circle. You know, people forget, and then you bring it back.
I agree. I agree. It's like a full circle moment. You
That
take one time and you remake it for our
that
time. It just connects everything.
that's it.
Yeah. And it's also an amazing thing because then the new generation can appreciate it too.
Exactly.
Mm, I love that. And this question might be a bit, the next one might be a bit difficult for you, but I want to ask you if out of all the remixes you've done already, can you pick one, like the one that stands out, or like the cream of the crop? You're like, that's my favorite.
I think the the Where's My Husband remix.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. I think is the one because I had the same feeling of when I made Be My Lover. Like seeing people going crazy asking for, for the remix. I
Hmm.
saw exactly the same thing for Where's My Husband remix. It's fun because I just made it for fun, actually. It was a cool track, really not dense, so it was a challenge. But I
Mm,
just follow, I was like, okay, let's think a little bit out of the box and do something that comes naturally. And people really loved it.
Mhm.
And plus, David, he's really close to Ray, so
mm,
we were able to release the remix because David is such a good friend of
mm,
there. Yeah.
mm.
So
And the
yes, and say,
song,
where is
that's
that?
sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the song is also blowing up, like both
Yeah, it's
songs,
going
like
super
the original
strong.
song and the remix. Now they're just
Yeah, it's going super strong, super
very,
strong.
very strong.
Yeah, yeah. Also,
And
the Gone 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 remix I made for David, my latest remix. It's
mhm, mhm.
be good. It was a challenge. It was a challenge
Yeah,
because the track has his own soul and it's
yeah.
like really powerful. And when you touch something that powerful, it's easy to to make things look bad. So
Yeah.
you need to adapt a lot to the track and make what's the best for the track.
And but what's your process then when you talk about that song specifically? When you say that it has its very set soul, its very firm identity, how do you approach it then? Like how do you know what to add and what to change?
I sometimes I just go through TikTok or Instagram and I
Mhm.
see the part that the section that people use for Reels or
Mhm.
TikTok.
Mhm.
Mhm.
This way helps me, to say, okay, I need to keep this
Mm.
part as close as possible to the original life because most of the time when I do my remixes, I even change the arrangement of the
Mhm.
vocals. Sometimes I just don't use a part of the vocals,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I always try, to see actually what's working, what people are loving of the original track before making the big changes.
Mm. I like that. I like that approach. It's very focused, the exact one people want, and it's a nice
Exactly.
way of being
Yeah, you
able
build
to
on that.
discern. What did you say, Sasha?
Oh no, yeah, and then you build on that, like trying to
Exactly.
anticipate like what people want to see like with that track and like kind of make it even better.
Exactly. Then you play with the surprise. You keep, what they wanna hear, and then you play with the surprise effect. That's the
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point. And you just mentioned David Guetta just within the previous or just previous sentences. He's obviously had a big role in helping you grow as an artist and as a musician in the industry. What is one key lesson that you've taken from his mentorship, would you say?
Can I say it too?
Oh,
Can
two,
I say it?
yeah.
Okay, so the first one is dedication. Like give your 100% every time, every day. There is no day off. It's
Mm,
like a mission. Like we're on a mission. Like music
mhm,
is a mission.
mhm,
Second one is the music culture. Like imagine if you have a backpack
Hmm.
and that backpack needs to be full with as much as you can in terms of music.
mhm,
Like you need from 80s to 70s to 90s to 2000, 2010, recent music, club music, underground, all the different kind of music. Learn everything, make everything your culture because then
mhm.
it's gonna be will be much more easier to understand the direction of a track. when you're
Mm.
producing it. Well, when you're producing it, or when you hear a track and you want to remix it, you're gonna then it's like connecting the dots.
The
No, it's
dots, yeah.
like, okay, like this might work with this kind of idea, and I can use the the arrangement or the bass
Mhm.
line that was in this other track, and so on.
And would you say how full is your backpack at this point?
I can say that I'm really happy because I'm starting to see the dots that are connecting when I'm working on something right now. It's not full.
Oh,
It's not even half, but it's
but
getting
it's
loaded. Yes.
yeah. And what would you say David's backpack is? Almost full.
I think he has a mountain, not even a backpack. He has a planet with himself.
Yeah. Oh man, because I remember his sound. Like I used to listen to his music 20 years ago, and he's just changed. He's gone through phases and like just followed culture, added things, put things back, and then shaped culture. Even to this day, he's creating new genres. So he's incredible, incredible person to work with. Also, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say like that song, for example, helps like shape your musical identity, or if there like any like story behind it?
It's I'll say that it's following a bit what I'm it's following a bit my recent releases
Hmm.
in terms of sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Feels, of course, it's not gonna feel like a remix.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a proper song. But yes, like the sounds are like it's like the follow up of my recent remixes. I'm using lots of element from those tracks.
Mm-hmm. I feel this is more of a house direction, probably, or more
Exactly.
maybe it's more clearly house, I feel. And maybe
Exactly.
what I would maybe call it maybe future house is
It's,
maybe
it's kind
what
of I don't like I see like people calling it piano house,
oh piano house, yeah.
Hmm.
or house, or someone says sounds like Avicii house. So I think it's the main element, of course, is the piano, but more
Yeah.
than that, I say is the way the chords are played.
Uh-huh.
Like really
Yeah.
syncopated, that gives this,
Hmm.
nostalgia effect of 2010, and keeps the rhythm really, just with the piano plays as a percussion, I'll say. Like
Exactly.
really rhythmic. So exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah, I love the piano, just the piano
Yeah,
progression
you
and
can
also
dance just with the piano. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I fully agree. But do you feel like you want to go more into house or back into or what's your niche, would you then say?
It's, the Ray remix together with David
Mm.
Hmm.
opened a little bit the door for me to house music, because that was my first real house release.
Hmm.
I won't start producing, like, never say never, but I won't,
Hmm.
for now, won't start producing house music. But I can say certainly that I'm gonna keep lots of that influence in my next productions. Also
Hmm.
because it's working whenever I post something on socials with that piano sound, that everyone can recognize. I see people
Hmm.
like really, really happy.
Hmm. No, I agree. I think this song's gonna really, it's gonna
Yeah,
push you even more. It's gonna
yeah,
really add a lot to
Hmm.
your whole identity, to your sound. It's really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, for
exactly.
And
sure. But also, do you mind me asking, like, what do you think, like, in the next, let's say, year or like even a couple of years, like, what's your dream scenario? Like, what are you like reaching for truly? Like, what's your like dream goal?
You
Because
know,
I'm sure like you will reach that, but let's break it down.
my goal is it's always a challenge with myself.
Hmm.
mm,
Like, I don't like to, I understood that each career is different from everyone. Like my career, is different from David career, which
Mm,
is different from Martin career. Everyone has his own path, and I think it's really wrong to compare your path to someone else,
Mm-hmm.
because then you're going to see, oh, that, that colleague, that friend did that before me. He was younger, he was doing better, or he arrived at that point, I was older. I think it's wrong. I think what you need to do is just challenge yourself,
mm,
and every year look back and
mm.
s-
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, it was a better year, not worst. I did better, that's my constant goal.
Yeah, and I think it's a great goal. And I also do agree with you. I feel like when people say like, oh, the goal is just to be successful, I mean, like success means different things to different people. So I think
Exactly.
ultimately what you're saying, like, yeah, that's very like true and authentic and genuine, like to just like challenge yourself. I feel like as an artist, that's the best thing you can do.
Exactly, because after that, things will come naturally. Like when you work really hard and you work harder than the year before, uh, things will be better for sure. So you don't even have to think of, I need to do better. You just have to keep pushing, and things will come with you. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And following up on that, what are then things that you want to push yourself in further, like areas of improvement or things you haven't discovered yet that you really want to discover?
Good question. I think.
What would be the next challenge? The ultimate
I think
challenge.
ul- ultimate challenge, I think, is I always try first to improve my speed in making music, but even
Mhm.
sometimes you cannot, sometimes you just need time. For example, you need, like, for some tracks it takes a week, a month.
Mhm.
Other tracks it takes 2 days, 3 days. So I
Mhm.
would love to become like more constant, like
Mhm.
more, okay, it's 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, but it's really hard, with
Mhm.
creativity you cannot just put yourself a limit.
Mm,
Mhm.
um, but also I'm going really deep into the mastering process, a lot, a lot, a lot, and especially AI. I'm going really deep into the AI stuff. I think is a really powerful tool.
mm,
Just for mastering or also
Not
for.
not not just for my, I think it's a creative tool, when because the human is behind.
mm,
So the input is human, and if the input is great and you know what to do, it can help you a lot. It's like a boost to
Mm.
to your studio. Yeah.
Mhm. Wow, I haven't heard many artists endorsing AI that much, but I do agree with you. As long as it's a tool that the human can use,
That's
it's
it.
an extension, then you can just unlock lots of possibilities.
Exactly. I see it as a plugin, I see it
Yeah,
as
it's
a plugin.
exactly.
I don't see it like as an enemy. uh of
yeah.
course, I think, like, when if you do the food thing just with the I will not feel, even I will feel bad, it's not gonna be, I won't feel, okay, this is my track. I will never
Mhm.
say that, but if you use it as a powerful creative tool, I think it's totally fine.
Mm. Yeah, it should basically like assist you, not replace you.
Exactly, assist you.
Yeah.
That's what technology is made for, I think. Like for
Mm,
medicine, like, robots are helping the surgeon to perform their operation on patient.
mm,
And in our case, AI can help us a lot, because most of the time on tracks, you lose so much time in working on some little values, little
Mhm.
automation that takes lots of time of the work.
Mhm.
And when you spend lots of time in front of a computer, in front of a laptop or monitor or whatever, you end up being more, uh, not stressed, but I'll say
Mhm.
more more tired, and then
Mhm.
your creativity
Mhm.
comes. So
Wow.
that way you can stay in the studio like full throttle, pushing pushing very hard. Yes.
no, I
Wow.
totally agree. I was actually
So,
having like a very similar conversation at our company like just yesterday. So yeah, I
I think
totally agree.
I think this is the thing. Yes.
Yeah, because it allows you to be more creative because like if you spend less time like on those tedious tasks, you can actually
Exactly.
focus on your creativity as an artist, as a creator.
That's
And
the thing.
that's the most important thing. Yeah.
I always dreamed of a software that, you sometimes you have lots of great track in your mind, and then you have to transmit the track to the laptop with your hands,
That's the
and
crazy thing.
stuff. So I always dreamed of something that you can just, think and
Yeah.
and build directly, like you just open your
Yeah.
laptop and
Mm.
your idea is there, but it's your idea,
Mm.
it's your creation. And AI is not like that, of course, maybe for now, but
Yeah.
it's helping a lot. It's helping.
Mm. I had the same thought actually, because I always think that process is fascinating. It's in your mind, and you have to use everything in your body to try and put it on
Yes.
paper. And imagine you could just transpose the musical idea onto like some
that,
medium.
that would be amazing.
That'd be fantastic. Wow.
Dream.
Um, and to finish off, because we're already at the last question, to finish off the interview, so for emerging producers who look up to you, what would be one piece of advice that you could give them that you wish you had when you started making music?
I think it's all about experience. You can't buy experience.
Mm-hmm.
So you need, even if you're lucky that you start really, really strong, really fast, you have a hit and you're already, playing around, you will face, that, okay, I still need experience. I still need experience. And that's as I said, you can't buy experience. So the more you do it, the better. The more the shows you play, the better you understand. What I can say, I never went that much into, to clubs while I was, building my music stuff together with the dentistry stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
can say that if you go to the club, actively you have to be active in listening the music, because it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna help you a lot in seeing the groove, the bass line, the synths, the drums that works. Because sometimes you think you've done something really great in your studio, then you go play into the club and
Mm-hmm.
it's not right. But the more you play, the more you do it, the more you see the other DJs doing it, the faster and better you understand.
Wow. That's like a full immersion into the
Exactly.
production. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's like you want to be a movie director, go to the cinema
Mm.
every day,
Experience
watch
it.
watch as many movie as you can, and then you're gonna start seeing the thing not as a consumer, but as a creator. So you're gonna start perceiving, all the little details that are around, like in music, for example, transition drums, and in cinema,
Mm-hmm.
the changes of camera. You don't even think about that as a consumer. But when you start paying attention to that, you will be like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the little things and suddenly
Exactly.
it helps you like to have
Exactly.
skill and everything because you have like this unique perspective, understanding like all those like different angles and everything.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think if there's nothing more from you, Sasha, I think that's pretty much it from us. We thank you very much for your time, Hypaton. We really had the pleasure. We're really happy to meet you. It was a great conversation.
Pleasure,
We look
guys.
forward to following you in the future and to supporting you in everything that you do. And yeah, we hope to speak to you soon and all the best.
Definitely. You too, guys. It was a real pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Jack, you're still there?
Yes, great
Oh,
interview, guys. Thank you very much for that. It was great.
amazing. Thank you, Jack and
Thanks.
Hyperton. All the best.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
You
Great
guys.
start to the new year and
Happy holidays.
hope to speak to you soon. Yeah,
Have
happy
a great
holidays.
New Year and everything. Wishing
Everything, just
all the best.
everything. All the
Amen.
gifts, all the
All the gifts.
yeah.
Watch out for the gifts.
Yeah.